India has migrated decisively away from being a supply side constrained economy to being a consumer demand driven economy. This transition, of course, happened in the early 1990s. But over these last 25, 30 years, we have learned a lot about the changing Indian markets, the changing face of the Indian consumer. The Indian consumer today is a highly diversified lot with a mix of different age groups, each of which are local, different levels of wokeness, different levels of education. Each has got its own voice, a very different voice. Urban India is different from rural India, and small town is different from large towns. So the nature of the Indian consumer is big, and each is differently aspirational. And these aspirations, reflected in their sentiments, determine where the economy will head. What are the turning points in the Indian economy? CMI's Consumer Pyramids Household Survey has been tracking these sentiments very closely on a day to day basis. And we have seen how the consumer has behaved in response to the announcement of the demonetization in 2016, the announcement of the GST, and the shock of lockdown in 2020. For example, in April 2020, the Consumer Sentiment Index crashed 54%, and it hasn't recovered from there. While the economy has apparently recovered, the consumer sentiments have not. And we believe till the consumer sentiments don't recover, the recovery is not complete. The turning point hasn't happened. It's very important and it's decisive which way the economy will head. How will consumer demand, how will consumption demand grow in the country by seeing what is the nature, what is the aspiration of the Indian consumption consumer households. That's very important in determining when a recovery will happen and how robust will it be. Thank you.